There's a black, crusty shadow creeping inside your car's engine right now that the automotive industry has spent 50 years making sure you never learn how to kill. It's a slow-motion heart attack for your vehicle called carbon buildup, and the corporate lie you've been fed is that the only cure is a $300 professional induction service or a trade-in for a newer, more expensive model. The struggling person's reality is that your car is losing fuel economy, idling rough, and gasping for air while the mechanic looks you in the eye and tells you that modern engines are just sensitive. They aren't sensitive. They're being choked to death by a design flaw that turned a simple cleaning agent into a forbidden secret. The industry profits from your ignorance because a car that runs perfectly for 20 years is a car that doesn't generate a $500 a month finance payment. They want you stuck in a cycle of expensive preventative maintenance that doesn't actually prevent the one thing that kills modern engines. And it honestly annoys the hell out of me that millions of people are draining their savings on repairs that could be solved for the price of a cup of coffee. Today, I am exposing the truth about the engine vitamin that has been buried since 1974. We are going to look at 3 massive claims the industry makes to keep your wallet empty, and I'm going to show you exactly how to bypass their system to save thousands over the life of your vehicle. We are pivoting away from the corporate greed that dictates your monthly budget and moving toward a world where you are the master of your own machine. I'm going to break down the macro fact of the 3,000-mile oil change myth, the reality of intake choking, and the chemical compound they removed from the standard gas pump to ensure your engine eventually fails. This is the roadmap to making your current car the last one you'll need to buy for a decade. Let's start with the first macro fact. The 3,000-mile oil change is a psychological operation, not a mechanical necessity. The industry continues to push this narrative because it keeps you inside the dealership or the lube shop 4 times a year. The mechanism they use to drain your wallet is the fear of the sludge. They want you to believe that at mile 3001, your oil turns into acid. In reality, modern synthetic oils can easily go 10 or 12,000 miles, but the oil itself isn't the problem. It's the top-end lubrication that the oil never touches. So what does the oil change myth actually mean for you? It means if you're trying to maintain your car, the system just made it $400 a year more expensive by forcing you to replace perfectly good fluid while ignoring the carbon deposits forming on your intake valves. Here is how we bypass that. Instead of overpaying for a mid-tier oil change every 3 months, you focus on the top end. You use the money you saved on those 3 unnecessary oil changes to buy a high-concentration dose of polyetheramine, or PEA. If you want fact-checked analysis like this that strips away the corporate panic, take 2 seconds to hit subscribe. The second macro fact is even more sinister: direct injection technology. Almost every car made in the last 15 years uses it. The industry sold this as a fuel-saving miracle, but the hidden mechanism is that gasoline never touches the back of your intake valves anymore. In older cars, the gas washed the valves clean. In your modern car, the valves stay bone dry and become a magnet for oily carbon mist. This leads to the micro impact of your car feeling sluggish, hesitation when you merge onto the highway, and an eventual $2,000 bill for a walnut blasting service. So what does direct injection actually mean for you? It means the system made your car 20% more efficient on paper, but 30% more likely to require a catastrophic repair before it hits 100,000 miles. We bypass this by using the $2 engine vitamin PEA directly into the fuel system or a specific intake spray. PEA is a nitrogen-based detergent that survived the 1970s fuel crisis but was gradually phased out of cheap gasoline because it worked too well. It's the only chemical capable of surviving the heat of a combustion chamber to actually melt carbon on contact. The third macro fact is the suppression of top-tier chemical standards. The industry knows that most people buy the cheapest gas at the corner station. The why is simple. Lower-grade gasoline contains almost zero detergents, which accelerates the choking of your engine. They want your engine to accumulate junk because a dirty engine runs hot and a hot engine breaks parts. The micro-impact for you is a check engine light that triggers a cascade of unnecessary sensor replacements at the mechanic. So what does cheap gas actually mean for you? It means you're saving 3 cents at the pump, but paying $300 at the shop. The formula to beat this is to stop buying the fuel system treatments that are 99% kerosene and 1% mystery oil. You look for the specific $2 per dose engine vitamin with a high PEA concentration. One treatment every 6 months does what a mechanic's induction service does for a fraction of the cost. If you want more strategies that put the power back in your hands and out of the corporate boardrooms, make sure you hit that subscribe button. The reality of self-reliance is that the more you know, the less they can charge you. It drives me crazy that people are losing their cars to carbon death simply because they followed the manual written by the people who want to sell them a new car. You have to understand that the system is not designed to keep your car on the road. It is designed to keep the economy moving through your debt. When you start using concentrated solvents like PEA to maintain your engine's internal health, you are effectively opting out of the planned obsolescence that is the backbone of the modern auto industry. As we look toward the next few years, I want you to stay grounded and watch for 3 specific metrics that signal the system is trying to pivot. First, watch for the disappearance of DIY maintenance sections in local stores. As they move toward electric vehicles and proprietary software, they will try to make simple chemicals harder to find. Second, watch for subscription-based performance updates in cars. This is their way of charging you for the power your engine already has. And third, keep an eye on environmental surcharges at repair shops that are just hidden taxes for basic work. The headlines want you to panic and believe that your old gas sipper is a liability that needs to be replaced by a $60,000 EV. But the data tells us to prepare. Your current vehicle, maintained with these forbidden low-cost vitamins, is the most sustainable and economic tool you own. I will be tracking these industry shifts for you so you never get caught in their trap again. The headlines want you to panic, but the data tells us to prepare. I will be tracking these for you, so make sure you are subscribed.